Hello and welcome back to my Let's Play of the video game Syberia 2. I just felt like I have to clarify a little bit and remind you that this is in fact not an audiobook, despite what is probably going to happen in this episode. Holy God. Alright, let's just get to it. This is very likely to be just a pure reading episode, maybe like 2 minutes of something else at the end. Oh man, here we go. Alexei Tukyanov, Notes and Sketches from the... I am already stuck. It looks like it says Fragen. I want to say frigid, but that's definitely not it. Something north. Trayan? Frayan? Fragan? Let's just ignore that. Okay, thank God it's not all in cursive. God, that would have been super annoying. This is actually perfectly readable. Great! April 15, 1947. I loaded my bags and provisions onto a sled pulled by several sturdy, healthy beasts and left the Romansburg Monastery, heading northwards in search of the mysterious peoples inhabiting the vast desolate wastes of the Siberian tundra. My superiors had conferred on me the mission of evangelizing those pagan tribes from their heathen shamanic beliefs. I traveled under an assumed identity, that of a lowly trapper. I had to be wary of the agents of the state and of the military, for whom any religious activity is suspect. They, for their part, traveled the length and breadth of eastern Syberia, trying to convince the villagers of the debatable benefits of collectivism. It took me several weeks to accustom myself to the unfamiliar harness. I found no dogs in Romansburg and had to make do with Youkis purchased from a hunter. The Youki is related to both seals and dogs. In the wild, the Youki lives on riverbanks. It is an easy capture for the trapper, as its gluttony is well documented. In winter, it gorges itself on orange salmon, a prey that it often has to share in the wild with the fierce Siberian bear, another creature very partial to the fish. The Youki, the Siberian bear. The Youki. Once tamed, the Youki is an affectionate but whimsical animal. It resists all forms of disciplined training, and only if there are no dogs available is it used to pull sleds. Certain Arctic peoples, however, seem to have better mastered the secret of their domestication, and the Youki is central to their daily activities. Wait, did I read? Yeah, it just said the Youki. Of all the peoples who inhabit these godforsaken regions, I find the Youkols the most fascinating. Perhaps that is why I headed for those regions where I was most likely to encounter them. Youkol religious mask, representing the soul messenger who guides the dying to the other world. The Youkols are fearful of him. Oh shit. Oh shit. Can you tell who that is? Or what that looks like? I'll give you a hint. It's not a human. That's all you get. The journey was long and dangerous. It wasn't until October 27th, 1947, that for the first time I made contact with the Youkols. I've spent long months living among them. I've come to know them and to understand them for who they are. I soon abandoned any notion of converting them. I applied myself instead to the study of their mores and customs. Mores? Moves? Mores? I'm not sure what that means. So little is known about the Youkols, less than is known of any inhabitant of the frozen north. Did it say frozen? Hold on, let me check that. Did it actually say frozen? Frozen! Frozen north! Okay, we solved the mystery. Great. Today, they live far, far away at the farthernmost tip of the Siberian tundra. Because of their remoteness and their inhospitable climate, the Youkols have remained small in number, overlooked by the scientific community and the Soviet governmental machine. The only documents available before my departure were several drawings, notes, and photographs taken 100 years ago. Wait, photographs taken 100 years ago? When were photographs, like, invented? I'm actually not sure. Yeah, maybe it has been that long. I'm thinking of, like, TV, but that was much later. By a Russian explorer, Marie Bodrinov? No clue. It is to her we owe what little is of the Youkol people. What? And its culture. What? No, what little is known that of the Youkol people. That must just be a mistake, right? The Youkols hark back to the last ice age. Curiously, traces of their presence have been found in Western Europe, more precisely in the heart of the French Alps, in the prehistoric caves of Vallée de l'Aisne. This suggests that, over centuries, they undertook a long migration toward the extreme north of the globe. And there's the backstory of why the artifact, the mammoth doll, was found in the cave. Pretty cool. Oh, and if you don't know, that was in Syberia 1. Just if you, I don't know, for some reason only watch Syberia 2. We found a doll, a mammoth doll, that Hans got, like, obsessed over as a kid, and then fell and got permanently disabled and crippled, and everyone was sad. And we found that in the current day, and we took it to Hans, and on our journey towards Syberia. The sacred harfang. This bird is often inseparable from the Youkol shaman. It seems to be considered in turns as his friend, representative, and even as his incarnation. Youkol shaman. Lemmings congregate on the open plains of Syberia. They feed on grains and small fruit that they store in their holes to face the scarcity of the winter months ahead. Lemmings dig deep tunnels in the ice to escape their predators. The hunters they most fear are harfangs, who seem to find lemmings something of a delicacy. It looks like he's holding a ball of yarn, not really a fruit. But I guess that's some kind of berry, to show that they're, like, very small. On several occasions during my journey, I encountered traces of Youkol society far to the west of the areas we know today. Along forest trails, I discovered small piles of carefully piled stones, altars on which Youkol hunters made they had already invented virtual reality. Ritual offerings to one of their pagan gods. The heathens! We now know the reason for the Youkol's long migration. Their domestic economy was, it seems, directly linked to the mammoth. They used the mammoth for both transport and as beasts of burden, for meat, skin, fat, and ivory. It is beyond doubt that we are dealing with a genuine case of symbiosis, I don't know, between man and animal. Mammoths were forced north by changing climate conditions, and the Youkols followed. Some prehistoric cave drawings identified as being of Youkol origin have led the scientific community to conjecture that at one time the Youkols realized the incredible achievement of domesticating mammoths. They are, to our knowledge, the only prehistoric people to have represented a man astride a mammoth. Youkol life was thus intimately linked to that of their pachyderms. They used their hides for clothing and to build roofs, walls, and houses. They used their tusks to construct the frameworks of their dwellings and for weapons, tools, and jewelry. Curiously, the disappearance of the mammoth 12,000 years ago had no immediate impact on the Youkol's way of life. It seems that they were able to retain the strong link that tied them to the mammoths throughout millennia. As incredible as it might seem, Youkols still feed on mammoth meat today and use mammoth hide for clothing and to roof their dwellings. Their craftsmanship of mammoth ivory is altogether remarkable. It appears that the Youkols have managed to retain their ancestral habits by using over the years the many frozen mammoth bodies that are perfectly preserved in the frozen Siberian wastes. They are said to have lived off of this enormous pantry for more than 30 centuries. To do this, they have hollowed out a vast network of caves in the frozen ground. According to the intrepid explorer Marie Branov, Youkol civilization has now gone underground. Interesting, alright, and there's a thumbs up. Hey, good story, guy! Specialists in the paleontology department at St. Petersburg have never credited Youkol myths and legends. However, the legend of the Siberian ice arc is typical of such folklore. It has long been considered a fable told by shaman in the evening to ward off the boredom of the long Siberian winter months. The legend tells that, somewhere on a lost island to the north of the tundra, there still exist live mammoths, relics of the long-gone Ice Age, a tiny population that has been preserved for more than 12 centuries under Youkol care. The island the pachyderms inhabit is called Syberia. To my notes, I add the tale of this legend as Marie Barbara related it in her memoirs. It agrees on all points with statements from Youkols I had the fortune to meet. Although this story constitutes no proof of the existence of the island of Syberia, it forms a tantalizing hypothesis. Ooh, bluegrass. What does it say? Caerulea? Herba? Fossilized plant life. Scarlet bramble, Infernus rubus. When fall arrives, the odor of its flowers is so strong that it is known to awaken hibernating Youki. Isn't that the one we cut off the grave? Is that it? Huh. Scarlet bramble. Mixed with walrus blubber or tallow. Tallow is what you make candles out of? This scarlet bramble is frequently used in Youkol medicine. The fumes released by burning it have considerable healing properties. Hint, hint, hint. The shamans recount that the plant only grows on the tomb of one whose soul is at peace. Very, very symbolic. The Legend of Syberia. At the end of the last ice age, there were huge climatic changes. Much of the land was flooded by water. This sudden environmental variation put the existence of a number of animal species in danger, including the mammoths that inhabited the lands of the Siberian North at that time. The Youkols, a particularly advanced people for the age, set about the construction of an enormous ark, like that of Noah, with the objective of preserving the mammoths, objects of religious devotion, from extinction. The enormous craft was entirely constructed of mammoth tusks, and was loaded with a small herd of beasts and huge quantities of fur. The fate of the ship was entrusted to several particularly courageous members of the Youkol clan. Their mission was to lead the animals toward more welcoming climes. Not climates. Climes? Never heard that. Once such lands were discovered, it was agreed that they would unload the animals and then come back to spread the tidings of their good fortune. It wasn't until 10 years later that the ark returned to its starting place. The Youkols, who had remained on the continent, were surprised to find the ship empty, but for the perfectly preserved bodies of several mammoths in the ice that packed the bottom of the ship. They took this mysterious offering as a sign from the gods, and ate the mammoths in a memorable feast. A week later, carried along by ocean currents, the ark set sail again. Once more, it returned 10 years later, with more frozen mammoths on board. The phenomenon continued for millennia. Every 10 years, the ark would reappear, each time filled with immaculately preserved mammoths. God, I hate having to read the word mammoth so many times. I can't pronounce mammoths. It's so hard for me. The Youkols interpreted the phenomenon as an act of benevolence on the part of the souls of their congeners. Congeners? What the heck are these words? Who had died during the ark's first journey in some infernal maritime cataclysm. They made a religion of the ark with its own rites and customs that was marked by the periodic appearance of the phantom ship and its precious cargo. For centuries, nothing seemed to affect the ark's mysterious roundabout. One day, however, the ark returned earlier than expected and empty. This was 100 years ago. The poor Youkols fell into deep despair. Everything they had believed in and had been the foundation of their culture since the dawn of time, lost meaning. The most valiant tried hard to maintain hope, especially because the Ark still contained its peregrinations into the unknown. Oh, continued, not, I think I read contained. Borne away on the seasonal ocean tides. But one morning, the Ark refused to set sail. Many Youkols then left their village forever, trailing their despair across the tundra. Sometimes they can be encountered in the smoke-filled drinking holes of the last outposts of civilization. Oh, really? So, like, the cabaret bar. Was there a Youkol in there? These poor sodden souls drown their befuddled minds in alcohol, recounting their unlikely mammoth tales to fellow alcoholics. When the explorer Brabra arrived among the Youkols, she noted the presence of what was once a ship. Only the Youkols could perceive the mythical craft of their legends beneath the layers of ice that had accumulated over centuries. She put forward the hypothesis that the accumulated ice had eventually doubled the volume of the Ark and rendered it incapable of negotiating the dangers posed by floating ice in the Arctic floe. Floe, I think it says? Like F-L-O-E. Again, never heard that. I, Alexei Tukyanov, can confirm that the observations of this audacious adventure are true. The Ark that leads to the Isle of Syberia is indeed real, and even if I have not found the formal proof, I am convinced of this isle's existence, and that remnants of a mammoth population may still live there today. Alexei Tukyanov. Holy crap. That was a thing. That was a book. And I have now read it. And I don't know how long this episode is gonna be because, goddamn, I suck at reading stuff and I keep having to re-say sentences like every fucking other sentence. And there's gonna be a lot of editing to make sure you don't know that. Whoops, I just told you. But yeah, I don't know how long it's gonna end up being, but I'm gonna just end it here. Like, we'll just have that be the reading episode, and you can actually just skip it if you want to. But there are some actual valuable pieces of game knowledge that we might need in that, so I'll just recap that next time before we start. If you wanted to skip this episode, which you already haven't, so I don't know what the fuck you were doing. I don't know why I'm even saying this. But we'll leave it there for today. Hope you enjoyed some terrible reading, and next time we'll get back to the game and trying to help our friend Hans. Thanks for watching. I'll see you then. Bye-bye.